Feel 5 to 10 degrees warmer here, even harder on our bodies. Airlines taking extra measures for outside employees, providing extra breaks in air-conditioned break rooms, cooling stations, and cooling neckbands. Hospitals on heightened alert.
At least one death is blamed on the heat. The U.S. is increasing air patrols over the Strait of Hormuz after Iran seized a British oil tanker.
Iranian officials initially said it violated international maritime laws, but now say the British tanker collided with an Iranian fishing boat. A Liberian-flagged tanker was also briefly seized, but later released. The British Foreign Secretary says he's extremely concerned by the seizure, calling it unacceptable.
Yes,
Holy Moses. Ramos in Washington.
I heard you on the radio this morning at 6:45.
For what he calls one of the country's defining
It sounded
moments.
good.
Half a century ago today.
Hey, can you, you know how to talk, right, on our show if you need to?
Johnson Space Center.
Yeah.
Go for landing.
The prior two folks had a hard time with that.
Who saw the moon landing as a crowning American achievement.
It really demonstrated the power of a free and open society.
But Grant has been instrumental in restoring the mission control room to its exact 1969 appearance. It's been designated a National Historic Landmark.
Yep.
Jim
All
Ryan,
right, we
ABC
will
News
see you
at
shortly.
Space Center, Houston.
The president announced his supporters at his North Carolina rally this week who chanted, "Send her back," about one of the 4 Democratic congresswomen that he tweeted about this week are patriots. You're listening to ABC News.
An excessive heat warning is in effect statewide until 8 o'clock tonight. Heat index values could be between 105 and 110 degrees during the day. Cleveland Clinic dietitian Diana Shanae says make sure you stay hydrated, and that goes double for kids.
Make sure your child always has water with them and something that they will drink. And if they're not as great at drinking water, make sure they have those high water content snacks available, things like the fruits, the vegetables, or some homemade popsicles.
The American Red Cross is urging Ohioans to donate blood as soon as possible. Christy Peters of the Red Cross says there's a critical shortage of blood right now.
Absolutely. All blood types are needed. Right now, we do have less than a 2-day supply of type O blood and a less than 3-day supply of all other types. So we are facing a critical need for all types, but if you're a type O donor, we definitely need you.
Peters explains that there's a critical blood shortage because many of their regular donors are on vacation during the summer, at the very time when demand for blood often rises. There's a new free hotline available for Ohio teens who want to quit the habit of vaping. It's being run by National Jewish Health, one of the largest tobacco cessation programs in the nation. The hotline is funded by the state. Dr. Thomas Iliolia explains why they're focusing on young people.
The younger that somebody is when they start using tobacco, the harder it is for them to get away from the nicotine, because their brain forms around, in that really critical age, their brain forms around needing nicotine just to manage their mood and other mental states.
You can get details at mylifemyquit.com. The Miss Wheelchair USA competition is currently underway in Cuyahoga Falls. Finalists from 8 states are competing for the title, including one from Ohio. A winner will be chosen today. I'm Ken Robinson.
Filling your news feed with the top trending news at the top and bottom of the hour. Columbus's news is on News Radio 610 WTBN.
Looking to buy a car? Online shopping can be confusing. Not anymore with True Price from TrueCar. Now you can know the exact price you'll pay for the car you want and see what other people paid for it too. When you're ready to buy a new or used car, visit TrueCar to enjoy a more confident car buying experience.
Hey, look at this.
Why are you on your phone? We have dinner reservations.
I'm getting a quote for life insurance from Ethos. Just look.
Wow. I thought it would be more expensive.
A friend told me about Ethos. It's a new, straightforward kind of term life insurance that offers policies for any budget. Let's do an estimate for you.
Do we have time?
You just answer 4 simple questions to get an instant quote.
These are easy questions.
And there's the instant quote.
Seriously? That was really fast.
I know, right? And the online application only takes about 10 minutes. No pushy agents. And in most cases, no medical exams. It's perfect for us.
Can we apply right now?
Why not? And after dinner, maybe we can celebrate.
You know what? Ethos is perfect for us.
Ethos is ethical term life insurance. Straightforward and super fast. Don't put it off. Go to ethoslife.com for a free instant quote now. ethoslife.com. That's ethoslife.com.
Live from LAPD Firearms Range and Training Facility, this is On Target, the latest from the firearms industry, the products and politics that affect your hobby and liberty. This program may not be politically correct, but it is on target. Now, your host, Eric Delbert.
Good afternoon. Welcome to On Target. We're broadcasting live from the studios of LAPD Firearms Range and Training Facility that's located at 999 Bethel Road. I'm your host, Eric, along with my father, co-owner, Phil, sits to my left. It's hot out there.
It is.
It is hot. I mean,
and
it is really hot. You know,
hot as a $2 pistol, as they used to say.
Can we say damn hot?
I don't know. Well,
no,
new
producer. Can't say that. No.
I don't know. See, now you already are putting Emily to the test. Did you guys know that Emily is back today?
Yeah, we're so happy to hear her voice.
I know.
Missed Emily.
And I've always said this. She sounds so jovial.
Yes.
Jovially, is that a word?
Yes.
Lively. Quit laughing. I hear you, Emily. And I mean, she's just like a fresh, fresh air.
Fresh air. And you know what was surprising when I was coming into the store today at 6:45 a.m. The 06:45, Pawpaw.
06:45. Okay.
I heard her on the air on open phones too.
Get out.
Sounded good.
Probably recorded.
Good. So we welcome back Emily. Good to have you back, Em.
Thank you. I'm happy to be back.
That's right. Good to have you guys. Talk about being hot. I worked Zoombezi last night. Wow, it was warm. Even at like 9, 10 o'clock.
You got water right there. You got water right there.
Everyone was in the water. I tried to get the little kids to hold my belt for me so I could go in the wave pool. But
all you got to do is just yell shark. They all
leave. It's funny you should say that because last night was movie night. And guess what they were playing?
Not Jaws.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny.
I was trying to volunteer to swim around with the shark fin. But we are the owners of LAPD Firearms Range and Training Facility Interactive Law Enforcement. But for 1 hour on Saturdays, we put together a group of firearm experts to discuss new products in the market, training tips, and oftentimes political topics surrounding the Second Amendment. Our commitment, though, has always been to bring you the facts about our industry and ultimately help our listeners and our customers with safe, responsible ownership of firearms. Guys, we had on Sean from the range last week talking about some of our new classes, getting great response for that. It is starting to be put up there on the website, Handgun 202, coming up in August. And we're already starting to do the advanced extra hour on the Practical Defensive Handgun series.
Yeah, what a great series that is. That really is outstanding. Nobody else has something like that.
Yep, so watch for that on the website. And August 1st is when that all goes into effect. Today, though, we're taking a little bit of a lighter approach and talking about some fun and interesting facts about firearms, statistics, history, and the industry. You know, like, okay, let me throw this one out there, guys. In the final scene of Jaws, you know, he throws that tank in the mouth of Jaws and stuff, and he shoots it with a
M1
Garand. Wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's a M1 Garand.
Yep. So it's stuff like that. Some fun stuff. Some of it's more serious in nature with some of the statistics, but nonetheless, we got all kinds of stuff that we run across.
Yeah, and you know, later on, I'll ask you guys if you can name any one of the 10 most popular handguns or guns in general used in movies.
Okay, that's a good one.
That'll be good.
Yeah, 10 most popular.
All right.
I mean, can you say one right now? Say one right now, Eric.
Well, I'd have to 1911.
What?
On 1911.
That is number 8 on the list.
Oh, really? I would have bet that.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna
all right.
Glock 17, all those things. So, okay, we'll go up there.
At 12:20 though.
Yeah.
At 12:20, finally, I get to the gun of the week that we've been teasing for 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
You know, 3 weeks. It's sitting right here. It's one that walked in the door a couple weeks ago, and wow, if it could only talk about the history. It checks all the boxes for me. It has. It's one of my favorite models. It's iconic due to the age, and it has history.
Okay, now do you own that one, Eric?
I do not.
Okay, are you going to own it?
Someday I will.
It is
now on the shelf of.
All right. Yeah. Let me ask you, how many how many of these do you already own?
A few.
And then you're getting on my case because I want to purchase something.
Right.
Okay.
That's pretty much it.
Just want to establish that.
That's how it works in the family. Yep.
Okay.
That's going to be brought to you by Blackwing Shooting Centers. We'd also like to thank our sponsors, Rampart Hosting, Toyota West, Jackson Lawn Care and Egress Windows, The Trigger Group, Blackwing, River's Edge Cutlery, CNS Engraving, and, of course, LAPD Training Facility that all make the show possible each week. Finally, joining me in the LAPD studio, JC is back from who knows where.
Back from assignment.
So get this.
Back from assignment.
So get this. He goes off on these. I don't even know. He's so far north.
It was up there north.
So
yeah,
you're way up north, and out of the blue, randomly, I get a picture, and you're standing next to Tim. You happen to run into each other in the middle of nowhere.
Literally, I was crossing the street. This pickup truck screeched to a halt. I thought it was going to hit me. I was opening the door, and all of a sudden the window came down, and JC. I went, Tim, what are you doing here? Well, the very next morning in a different town, I got done eating breakfast. I looked over, and there's his son texting me, not knowing I was there. So I ran into him 2 days in a row at 2 different towns.
Funny.
In the middle of nowhere. That was really
it's good to have you back. Paul, and JC, I don't think saw this. Did you really have a gentleman come all the way to the store this week
Yes,
to
I
get
did.
a picture taken with you?
Yes, I did.
Wow.
His name is Rick.
Yep.
And he says that I am his hero.
Wow. Really?
Yes. And he's about my age.
Yep.
And he likes revolvers and all-around good guy, and he wanted a picture with me.
Wow.
Now, I want to pose this to you guys. How many of you posed with one of our fans? That came in the store specifically.
You've got it. No,
I mean, I've seen people.
You know I got it.
You have won and you got the record.
I've seen people take pictures with your full-size, life-size profile here, you know?
Yeah. You know, I don't say much, but when I do, people appreciate that.
They do.
Right.
Yeah, and I want to thank you, Rick, for coming in.
If you missed the show, you can always catch the podcast. It's at 610WTVN.com. It's on iHeartRadio, iTunes, Google Podcasts. That's where I listen to it. And on Facebook Live. Great place to watch it.
Great place to watch
hopefully working those bugs out of Facebook will hopefully be up the whole time.
You know what the day is?
Yes, I do.
You know what today marks?
Yes,
Yep.
50
years.
How'd you know?
Well, everybody knows. It's the 50th anniversary of man setting foot. American man setting foot on the moon.
That too.
Oh, that too.
But it's been 50 years that I got out of the military.
Oh,
really?
There you go.
So they set foot on the moon at
You're
the
like,
same
"I'm
day
out."
that they kicked you out of the military.
Kicked me
How
out.
about that?
Yes.
That was, right. Well, congratulations on that, and congratulations.
And I knew
to
about the moon
USA.
thing. I just putting you guys on.
There's a conspiracy theory there somewhere.
So, yeah, something.
You know,
Yeah.
all of a sudden
So
he's
it's the
kicked
time.
out of the military. People are on the moon.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Boots were involved in both of those. He was booted out, and someone stepped on with the boot.
One step for mankind.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay.
If you also are on Instagram, it's a great way to follow us because every time a used firearm comes in the store or new items come in, we put them out there. So that's the quickest method to see what we have latest and greatest coming in the store. On the Facebook or on the website, there is a link to all of our used guns. We update it a couple times a month. Has the whole list of them. So it's a great,
some great things out there.
A great place to go check that out. And if you want to jump in on the conversation, 614-821-9886 is the number. JC, there is so much news out there. I'll let you.
So much news. Okay.
What do you have?
Well, first of all, it is important to pass this on because there was a passing that it's of an iconic founder of Springfield Armory passed away within the last month. So Springfield Armory, everyone knows about the Armory, but once it folded, he resurrected the name. His name was Robert Reese, and he was in the National Guard in California. After his discharge, he had a lot of jobs, but he ended up becoming a dealer in Army surplus. And in 1974, he, as they say, seized the opportunity to trademark the name Springfield Armory. And what he did was he resurrected some of the most, like they say, historically significant and iconic arms, which including the M1 Garand, the M14, which we know as the M1A in its civilian form, and their very famous 1911 pistol. So, that's a
How old
passing.
was he,
and
JC?
He was 87 years old. So he had a good life,
Yep.
but we're certainly benefiting from his efforts. So that's a
great.
good one. Okay. These next ones kind of tie in with what we're going to be talking about with our new training thing coming up, and we want to really stress to folks that we offer some great training, and you need to come here and get it. Number one, Attorney General, our good friend Dave Yost, Attorney General of the state of Ohio, released their concealed handgun license statistics, and of course, as you would expect, once again, we set another record with a number of folks. This quarter, we had, between renewals and new issues, 38,860 plus licenses issued. What that equates on a business day, that's like 600 CHL licenses every business day are being issued in this state. So we're up to basically over 673,000 adults in Ohio, about 7% of the population, have their CHL. That's training that we do here. We do it all the time, several times a month, and you really need to get this because the next two news stories, real quickly, both happened here in Ohio and involved women. Accomplice was charged in Cincinnati after a Cincinnati woman defended her own life from a pair of would-be robbers. This came from the Cincinnati Enquirer. Two armed 15-year-olds at gunpoint tried to rob her. The victim drew her own firearm and shot at the teens, hitting one of them, who unfortunately died from his injuries. He was actually on probation violation.
Where did he get the gun? Where did he get the gun?
They didn't cover that in the story. 15-year-old handgun.
Yeah.
He was a probation violator from receiving stolen property at the age of 15. But the bottom line is that the other guy that was with him, although he didn't have the gun, he's being charged with murder because he's an accomplice in a crime in which a murder was involved. So anyway, no charges against the victim because he was acting in self-defense. Yeah. Also down in that area in the Gallipolis Daily Tribune, the Gallia County Sheriff was reporting that a 20-year-old woman who's taking a bath, and she's in the bathtub, and someone outside must have known this. There was no connection with them, but she heard someone breaking on her door, slamming a door, and she's in a bathtub. So she gets out, wraps a towel around her, goes to open her bathroom door, see what the commotion is, and there's a guy standing there, naked except for his boxer shorts, coming at her. She kicked him, I don't know where, but probably appropriately because he went down. And then she ran, and she's a concealed handgun holder. Now, you don't have to be a concealed handgun licensee to own a gun in your own home, but she is, and she'd had training. She went, grabbed her gun, called the police, came out to see if this pervert was still in the house, and opened the door, and there he is with a pair of kitchen shears over his head coming down on her. She shot one time, hit him in the head, and down he went. But here's what the sheriff said. And the sheriff, who is Sheriff Matt Champlin, just said, look, this is unfortunate. We're sorry that the man lost his life. However, the fact that this young lady relied on her training and her constitutional right to defend herself. And, of course, no charges are being filed. But because of this, now remember what this says. If I can do this real quickly. We talk about this. Over 3,000 times a day in the United States of America, a firearm is employed to defend someone's life, their family, or their property. Over 3,000 times a day. Not fired, but presented. And this is why you need to have training, and this is why you need to come take our classes.
I want to pose two questions, John.
Yes.
If that happened to you, you wouldn't have to go get your firearm.
I just pulled it out of the bathtub.
I was going to ask if there was any mention of her listening to the show and having a stainless revolver in the shower like our friends.
All right. And my question number two, follow up on that 15-year-old, robbery, the first story you had.
Two 15-year-olds.
I bet you one of their parents is going to sue.
Well, probably. Yeah. Sue for anything now.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a story next week we're going to talk about, too, about how the firearms manufacturers are getting sued out of the Las Vegas shooting.
Yeah.
And you should see some of the pretenses they're getting
Well,
sued
John's
on,
story segues into a news thing that I have. So that's great.
So after the break, Papa, we'll get back to a news story for you and the gun of the week. We're on Target broadcasting live from the studios of LAPD Firearms and Range. We'll be right back after the break.
It's too darn hot.
This summer, it beams down from the sky.
I'm a little bit hot this morning about some of this stuff.
Heating up the inside of your car.
This topic makes my blood boil.
To the point where you have to roll down.
Somebody's got to put out this fire, or we're all going to burn.
What kind of temp do you have there, Em?
Get these people fired up.
It's
Hot.
talk. That's hot.
Damn hot.
You've got me
Yes,
fired up,
and I have to
man.
be outside in the heat.
What are you going to be?
Scorching
I'm gonna be
power.
at
News
Express
Radio
Live
610
or whatever it's called today for a
WTVN.
concert.
Like watching
Hi,
it?
I'm Ron Greenbaum,
Yeah.
the
Oh,
that's at
Basement
least
Doctor.
fun. I
If
had
you've
my
got a
vest
nasty
on for
basement
6
or
hours
crawl
last
space,
night.
Yeah,
log
that's
on to
true.
And then tonight I got to do a wedding
basementdoctor.com.
party or something.
I didn't know I could hire you for my wedding.
Yeah.
I bet this heat's
89
really
degrees.
taking a toll on your
cool.
garage floor. Well, you never have to replace your garage flooring again
Bear
if
with me
you
as I
get
try to get
Nature
back in the
Stone.
hang of
It's Mark Blazer
I
for
am-
Nature
that
Stone.
is
Whatever
fine.
you do, don't paint that floor. It won't fix the cracking, the uneven floors. Nature Stone eliminates the safety hazards. Get Nature Stone installed in your home by the end of July and get up to 50% off. Nature Stone's backed by Russell's Promise, their true unconditional warranty. Like my friend Mike says, it's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
If you
Spend more time planning your weekly grocery budget than your retirement. It's time for a change. Tune into Winning Retirement Radio featuring Ohio's retirement coach Greg Taylor and Kristen Taylor Saturday afternoon at 1 and Sunday at 6 a.m. or 10 a.m. on 610 WTVN.
Scored a new smart speaker during Amazon Prime Day or ahead of the crowd and already have one? Let iHeartRadio put Alexa to work for you. Your Alexa can get you a trip to Vegas to experience the iHeartRadio Music Festival front row. Super easy to enter. First, link your free iHeartRadio account in the Alexa app. Next, say, Alexa, play the iHeartRadio Music Festival station, and you're automatically entered to win. That's it. Vegas for the weekend. Front row tickets to the iHeartRadio Music Festival and $1,000 cash. All from iHeartRadio.
Your ABC6 first warning weather for today, sunny and hot and humid. High of 96. Tonight, a few clouds roll in, very warm though, low of 76. For Sunday, it's still going to be warm. Rain moves in though late in the day, high of 92. It is 89 degrees on your severe weather station, News Radio 610 WTVN.
Your station for news, traffic, and weather. News Radio 610 WTVN.
Back to OnTarget.
Nice choice, Eric.
You know what?
That's a great.
This is what happens when you give the technology to the old guy.
What?
Huh? That had to be your influence.
Do you have any evidence?
Oh, I can find it. Welcome back to OnTarget. I'm your host, Eric, joined today in the LAPD studios with my father, co-owner Phil. JC sits to my right. If you're watching on Facebook, you got a little extra there in between, which is always a fun thing. Papa, you had a story to tag along to John's story as we were wanting to break.
Yeah, I hope I don't get this all messed up. I got notes every place, but this came out in a dispatch last Tuesday, the 16th, and it was a study done by this doctor that says that the study shows that if we have stricter gun laws, it would reduce kids from dying. Okay, it would reduce the risk of kids dying. And she cited that there's about 4,250 deaths a year amongst juveniles and young adults. And so she was saying that in cities with, stricter gun laws, that has declined a little bit. But she must not have been counting Chicago. But
eliminate that.
Pick and choose your cities.
So these kids, these are like little kids that are dying from guns.
Well, I'll tell you. It says here that in the recent reports that it is declining. The rates of violent crime in cities across the country is decreasing. However, the deaths among juveniles and young adults are increasing. And what's the reason for that? I'm going to read this, okay? Right. It says the recent surge in youth crime actually occurred while the population of teenagers was on the decline. But this demographic benefit is about to change as a consequence of the baby boomerang. Have you heard that before? Baby boomerang?
Baby boomerang.
Those are offsprings of the baby boomers.
Oh,
He says that there are now 39 million children in this country who are under the age of 10, more young children than we ever had in decades, okay? Millions of them live in poverty, right? Most do not have full-time parental supervision at home or guiding their development and supervising their behavior. And consequently, they grow up, bad kids. Now, even if you have strict gun laws, the guns are out there. And these kids are going to grab them.
How about we need strict parenting laws?
In Great Britain, they've turned to knives. The crime one out of every 4 16-year-olds has a knife now and walking the streets in Britain.
Something else that enters into this is that suicides among children and young adults are the second leading cause of death.
Yeah, so
car accidents are the first one. All right, car accidents. Now, let me tell you what I think. It's social media.
Right.
It's anxiety. It's depression. It's violence on TV and movies. And it's the breakdown of the family.
Yep. Definitely.
Yeah.
And you said in this study, when they were looking at young adults, young adults went through age 24 or something. Wasn't there?
They're so
over the
in trying to substantiate what she was saying and going to all these studies. You're not comparing apples to apples. There's overlaps in age and everything else. One study takes 5 years, one takes 10 years, and but one thing that is pretty consistent is that the suicide rate has increased. And look, watch the news. I mean, I get depressed watching the news. You have these politicians. All they do is slam the other politician, trying to find some crap in their life that happened 50 years ago, and they're not working for the people.
No.
You know, and I mean, I would be depressed.
And in social media, you can be bullied 24 hours a day, something we never had to come up with. And when I did that report about that was in the police magazine, National Police Magazine, where they said by the time the average kid is 18 years old, he's killed over 100,000 people on video games. I mean, on the average for a game player.
In a 10-year study, the murder rate by teens increased 172%.
Wow. So that's gangs.
Well,
gangs
though only represent like 1% of all the homicides. Which you think, wow, that's not
where
right.
Did I get that statistic?
Yeah, well,
like interviewing gangs. How many people were killed this week?
That's right. Seems to me you need a podcast, Paul.
Hey, now before we go to another story,
well, we're trying to go to the gun of the week because it is that time.
Forget that. I mean, I got a list here. Crime.
I mean, that's typically what we do.
Just name one other gun one of the 10 most popular guns in movies. Go ahead and name it.
We're talking about models, or are we talking about?
No, we're talking about guns. Guns in general.
Like a Glock 17.
Wrong. Okay.
Wrong?
All right, so we'll go to
Glock is not on there, huh?
Glock is not on here.
Okay. Oh,
Smith & Wesson 44 Magnum from the audience.
Single Action Army.
The Model 29?
Yes.
That's number 10.
Yeah. All right.
Single Action Army. Cowboy gun.
Nope.
That's not in the top 10 guns?
Nope.
Wow.
Eric,
what kind of movies is he watching?
Eric, you do your gun of the week. Go ahead.
All right. So finally, the gun of the week. It sits here in front of us. If you're watching on Facebook, it is beautiful. What came in a couple weeks ago, and to tell you the truth, I had never seen one until it walked in the door. A Remington 870. You think, okay, wow, it's been a staple of law enforcement and military for a number of years. This one is it had I don't think it's actually the military modeled version of it, but it is darn close. So this particular one has an extended mag tube, a bayonet lug.
Yeah, I like
and
that.
And it is stamped vividly on the side, Ohio National Guard, or ONG.
It's engraved with the large state of Ohio outline.
That's great.
So this one was made in 1971, close to when I was born. It has served, like these that they had in the armory at this time, it has served through the 93 prison riots, Katrina, and there's pictures out there when they're being used. What a wonderful piece of history, and I don't know what they switched them out for, but
yeah, I was behind the counter when that came in. Yeah, you and I both, we kind of, drooled over it. Drooled.
Yeah, you drooled. Some of your gruel fell out of your mouth when you drooled. So
yeah, I mean, I'm speechless. I am without speech.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful, and they didn't make that many of them. It's also
no, they didn't.
It is nice.
It's in really neat condition. Now I need to get a bayonet lug. JC, what was the?
You need to get a bayonet.
M7?
The M7, yeah, the standard M7, just like fits on the M. Yeah,
it's like on the which one?
The M16, just as the standard. Yeah,
okay.
They just adopted the military bayonet.
Because I have one in the back that's for an M1.
They're almost everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, so I appreciate the gentleman who brought it in. He actually had two of them.
Yeah, and the one he had, which I sent you a picture of,
yes.
they made a very few folding stock
we tried to talk
him
out of that one, too.
So I took a picture of it and left it for you. You weren't here that day, so.
Okay.
Yep. So there is my gun of the week next week, Popo.
That is
have
nice.
The gun of the week. And actually next week, too, I'll give a little promo. Next week we're going to have Rampart Hosting on with us to talk cyber security. So kind of a neat twist on some security stuff. When we come back, we're going to talk about, and I'm going to right here, Pablo, and we're going to talk about some fun facts about the industry. Pablo is working on this list. We're having people on Facebook.
I'm not working on it. You're working on it. I'm trying to get you guys to name 10.
Walther PPK.
Ooh, that's number 2.
All right.
A detective special.
Nope.
When we come back, we'll get to more of Paul's list and more fun facts. We're on Target, broadcasting live from the studios of LAPD Firearms and Range. We'll be right back after the news.
Peak Performance for Men can help you get your intimacy back today. 90% of erectile dysfunction cases are caused by a lack of appropriate blood flow. Peak Performance for Men can help you today with focused linear compression therapy with no drugs, no surgery, no needles, and no pain. Get your intimacy back. Call Peak Performance at 614-739-8181. That's 739-8181 to schedule your consultation. Peak Performance for Men, helping all men with ED in Central Ohio reignite their sex life and get their confidence back.
Looking for reliable business broadband services? Partner with WOW Business for fast, robust, and secure communication solutions. Whether you're a small, medium, or large company, WOW Business has bundled plans tailored to fit your needs. Get business internet for $34.99 a month when you add a phone line. WOW Business. We help you keep your business moving forward. Visit wowforbusiness.com and bundle to save. Offer for new customers, 2-year agreement required. Subject to change. Restrictions apply.
News, traffic, and weather for Columbus. News Radio 610, WTVN.
A research ship, the Lake Guardian, is touring Lake Erie. EPA Administrator Andrew Wheeler says they're studying the condition of the lake and the algae bloom situation. The EPA is also providing a $2 million grant to clean up plastic waste in the Great Lakes. A shooting and fire has left one person dead and 9 others injured in Cleveland this morning. Firefighters arrived to see flames leaping from a duplex. Police say one person died from a gunshot wound to the head before the blaze began. There's a new free hotline available for Ohio teens who want to quit the habit of vaping. It's being run by National Jewish Health, one of the largest tobacco cessation programs in the nation. The hotline is being funded by the state of Ohio. Details at mylifemyquit.com. Most of Ohio remains under an extreme heat warning at this hour. I'm Ken Robinson.
Grainberry. This is Bob Harris for Grainberry Cereals. You may know that Grainberry is known for nutritious whole grains and natural antioxidants. But now, I'd like to tell you about new Grainberry cereals with remarkable onyx. Onyx Black Sorghum was perfected at Texas A&M University. Its health benefits are remarkable, like neutralizing a full range of free radical threats to your body, from the sun's rays to normal digestion and everything in between. Not only more powerful antioxidants, Onyx helps control sugar metabolism in your body. It slows down the absorption of sugar into the bloodstream. And Grainberry Onyx has natural fiber grown within the plant itself, so you don't have to borrow fiber as some cereals do. Also, Grainberry pancake and waffle, cookie, brownie, and muffin mixes, all with remarkable Onyx. Time to give your body some real support. Grainberry with Onyx.
Available at your local Giant Eagle.
Grainberry.
For a limited time, enjoy Frisch's Zesty Pulled Pork Barbecue Sandwich or Western Primetime Burger.
Live from LAPD Firearms Range and Training Facility, this is On Target, the latest from the firearms industry, the products and politics that affect your hobby and liberty. This program may not be politically correct, but it is On Target. Now, your host, Eric Delbert.
Welcome back to On Target. I'm your host, Eric, joined today in the LAPD studios. My father, Phil, sits to my left. JC, back from the wilderness, is to my right. So, guys, over the course of time, we stumble upon all kinds of interesting facts about the industry, stats surrounding firearms in general. And today we thought we'd go around the table and share some of these facts that we stumble upon throughout the preparation of the show. Certainly, if you have one out there, give us a call. We love to hear this. It's always interesting to hear. 614-821-9886 is the number. So I'm going to start it off. Okay, ready for this? Now, this is just interesting. This isn't anything wild. Yeah. But when you look at the powerfulness of a round, okay, so the foot-pounds, which a lot of times,
energy,
oftentimes is translated into knockdown power and everything else. The 22 short comes in at 66 pounds.
Foot-pounds of
energy. 66. Not much.
That's not much. Coming up a little short.
Coming up a little short.
So to speak.
The 25 ACP, 63 foot-pounds of energy.
Less than the,
yeah.
John Browning tried to duplicate that, but he fell a little short on the short. Yeah. Okay.
The 357 Magnum, okay, 700.
Okay.
So you really start to see the difference here. And let me.
Which is enough energy in theory to move something that weighed 700 pounds, 12 inches. So that's in theory.
45 ACP, over 400.
Okay.
So that 357 is still.
Yeah,
it's still kind of a king out there.
Of course, with our obese society, that may not work too much.
Right. You need more foot-pounds.
Yeah, you need more foot-pounds.
The 9mm, just in the threes, about 360. And, of course, these are averages because different weights and stuff like that. And then I'll throw one out there just as a frame of reference. The 223, 1,295 foot-pounds.
So that's a lot.
It is. So it just shows you I mean, it's a small round. It's a 22 caliber, basically, right? But that speed, when you put that speed into it.
Yeah, that equation really adds up. Weight and speed.
Yep.
All right, what do you have, Papa?
Well, I don't have any fun facts.
You don't have any fun facts?
I am not a fun person. However, I still am working on my list.
Okay, so
Okay, now so far there was 3 of them named. One was the Smith & Wesson Model 29, the M1911, and the Walther PPK.
So these are the top 10 firearms seen in movies.
And we've been going towards the bottom on this, right? We got number 10, number 8.
But here's the thing now. This is done by one person, probably very subjective, so it's not official.
He's been watching movies all week.
Counting
how many times?
Come on. Just
okay, the AR-15.
No. Oh, well, wait a minute. I'll give that to you. The M16.
Okay.
All right? And that was number 6.
Okay.
John?
So, I guess I watched nothing but old movies. Cause I was going to say
Forget
the
the Cowboys.
Gun. Yeah, the Tommy gun. I was going to say.
Tommy gun?
But those are
no.
If you're watching the Turner Classic Movies, these are the guns that you will see. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, later on I'll name all 10 if you want me to.
All right.
Okay.
All right. What do you have, JC?
Just from a fact, we're not sticking with this thing. Okay. All right. So the top 3 rifles produced. This should not be a surprise to anybody, but of all time.
Okay.
What do you think the first one is? Okay. Everyone should know this.
M16 or the AR?
No,
the
AK-47. They don't even know because now it's not licensed. They estimate more than 150 million of these things out there with all the country, but they don't even know that. So, but number 2 kind of surprised me. That is the Mauser Gewehr 98. They made 100 million of these in its various configurations. So the Mauser 98. So and the number 3 is another oldie but goodie, and that is the Mosin Nagant. Over 37 million of those have been made. So Soviet Union had number 1 and number 3. Germany number 2. In there. So. But that kind of surprised me. I did not get. Yeah. I would have put the M16 out there, but not nowhere near those numbers.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
All right, guys. Will a firearm fire in space?
It'll float.
It'll fire in space.
It will fire. So
I
they
would think
fire
it would.
underwater.
I would think it would.
It will fire in space because the gunpowder contains its own oxidizer, and they said that it would fire in space.
That's a potassium nitrate is the oxidizer for gunpowder. So that's saltpeter in there. That's what makes it go. So
saltpeter,
self-contained.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, Papa. What else you on your list?
I'm going to read down the list.
All
now.
right.
Okay. At number 10 was the Smith & Wesson Model 29. At number 9 was the 12-gauge Remington double-barrel Model SPR 220.
What is that?
Now, wait a minute.
Now, that's your cowboy stuff.
Okay.
All right. And at number 8 was the 1911. Number 7 was the AK-47.
Okay.
Number 6 was the M16. Number 5 was the Micro Uzi.
Okay.
Really? The Micro Uzi was number 5.
And number 4 was the minigun. You know what that's the barrel rotates and number 3 was the Desert Eagle.
Really?
Number 2 was the Walther PPK. And number 1, guess number 1.
I mean,
wrong. All right, it's Beretta. Wrong. It is Beretta 92.
Really?
I'm questioning this list. How many times have you seen miniguns used in?
All the time.
All the time. Okay.
What's that one with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
I know it's been used in several. I got to get out of the Turner Classic Movies, so I guess.
The guy Robert Blake was on the news recently, and he had
Beretta. Tony
and
Beretta.
what did he carry?
Well, I would assume a Beretta.
Oh,
his name
yeah,
is
he
Beretta,
did. All right, so that's a whole series.
Since we're on this kick,
okay,
a bird too. So,
what is the oldest gun manufacturer in the world?
Well, that would be Beretta.
Beretta.
They started like in the 1500s, like
1526.
Look at you.
Okay.
See? So why not? Why not be number one? Here?
Right. They had more of a chance to be in the movies.
And when you had, what's that one where Mel Gibson and everything played in?
Lethal Weapon?
Yeah, Lethal Weapon. That's what he carried.
He carried a Beretta.
Did he really?
Yeah.
All right.
So, okay.
Wow.
There we go.
I need to go look
All
at the
right,
Beretta case.
We solved that issue.
What do you have, JC?
Okay, top 3 handguns produced. I talked about the top 3 rifles. So what's the number 1 handgun produced?
Produced.
They made over 10 million of them, so just so you know.
Oh, so we have, what is it, John?
It's the Makarov PM.
Oh,
so
really?
Once again, Soviet Union with all their people, they put out there about 10 million of those. But number 2, he will know this because it's your gun. So
Smith & Wesson.
Smith and which one?
Well, revolver.
10. Well, which one?
Model 10.
There you go. So
wow.
your favorite gun, over 6 million of those have been produced.
Wow, there you go.
And the number 3 in production is one of the first plastic gun that made it, and not the first plastic gun that made it big time. And what is that?
It's not the Glock.
Yeah, it is. It's
oh, it
the
is?
Glock. No, I'm not saying it's the first plastic gun. That's another good question.
Yeah, because the first plastic gun was something else, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
And you know, Josh.
HK-70 that came out in 1970. It's the first polymer framed.
Yeah, we like to call them polymer.
But anyway, the Glock 17 was the 3rd most produced, and who knows what it is now when this is done, but over 10 million of those have been.
And the irony of that, Paul, 6 million Model 10s, and you own 2 million of those. I mean,
that's the irony.
I look every day for somebody to come in and wants to sell one.
That's right.
Okay.
All right, how about this, guys? The original Superman. George Reeves, right?
George Reeves, I remember.
Yep.
Yeah.
He, when he was going out and meeting fans out and about, he would also often get kids coming up to him wanting to test his superhuman
powers,
attributes, right?
Yep.
He said a kid came up to him with his father's World War II Luger and wanted to shoot him to see if he could really stop a bullet.
Oh, that could be
be trouble.
Little stain in his shorts on that one.
Yeah,
yeah. A little 10-year-old comes up.
I think that'd be a workers' comp claim.
So what did he do? Quick thinking.
Superman.
He said, you know what? That would be great, but if the bullet bounces off me, it could hit someone and hurt him. And the kid bought it.
Quick.
Huh?
That's quick. That is quick.
That is quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. That's a true story. I remember reading about that.
All right, what do you have, JC?
The largest commercial produced hunting round. Okay, what is that? Hunting round. We're not doing the BMG that you can use for that, but it's actually
a hunting round.
A hunting round.
12 gauge.
More of a rifle round?
A rifle round.
Rifle round.
Yeah, big game cartridge.
308.
30-6?
I don't know.
The 700 Nitro Express came out in 1988. So
really?
It shot it shoots 1,000 grain bullet with 15,000 foot-pounds of muzzle energy.
Take his book away.
Yeah.
Would you take that book away?
I have one of those, by the way. I have one of those rounds. So
I thought you had a rifle.
Cartridge. No, I don't have the rifle, but I got one of those rounds. Pretty impressive.
Okay.
Okay, talk about impressive. Did you guys realize the FBI has in inventory more than 7,000 firearms in order to help with investigations?
I thought they basically had one of every single thing that was produced. That's what I had thought. And I don't know when they stared doing that.
They said over 80 years, and I don't know how old the stat was.
Wow, that's
7,000. Can you imagine walking around there being the curator of that?
I'd love to do that.
Oh, you would love,
Is that job open? Yeah. What's the oldest cartridge produced in the United States? You should know that, too. If you've talked about it. Eric mentioned it briefly.
22 short.
22 short. Since 1857 has been
really
continuously produced in the United States. The oldest cartridge.
I'll be darned.
Did you guys know John Dillinger, when he escaped from jail, he did so with a wooden gun that he carved?
I've heard something like that.
Yep. And he coated it with shoe polish. And
every time I use our restroom here and I see that bar of soap that's shaped like a snub nose,
that's pretty impressive. He escaped, but he ended up taking another gun. He used it to get a real gun. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What's the oldest military cartridge still in use?
Wow.
308. 50 cal.
No, it is the 7.62 by 54 rim. The Soviet Union. It was first used in 1891 in the Mosin Nagant, and it is still being used today by the Russian military in their sniper rifle, the Druganov, and also their general purpose machine guns like the PKM. So 1891 to 2019, and it is still
now,
in
it really
use.
is.
Yeah,
now
still
that's
in use.
that's 7.62 by what?
By 54R. So that's rimmed. It's a rimmed cartridge.
Okay.
And so
because
the
308 is 7.62 by 51.
Right. So that's
okay,
just the length. It's a little bit bigger in girth at the back, holds a little more powder. But so if you have one of those old Mosin Nagants, you realize that cartridge that you're still using from way back in 1891 is still in the inventory today as in their sniper rifles.
This is fun. Let's do this some more. Yeah.
What else you got there, Papa?
I have nothing. I have my list.
That was a good list. Good list.
Yeah. You know.
Okay, how about this, guys? To demonstrate that the model 1917 was adequate, John Browning fired the machine gun for 48 minutes straight.
What? Oh, I wouldn't want to be near that barrel.
21,000 rounds.
It had to be
21,000.
It had to be glowing red.
Oh,
red probably went from red to white.
Yeah. Wow. 21,000 rounds, and that was his. What model was that again? That was his
1917.
1917. That was a 50 cal.
Now you know, in a demonstration when I was in the military, they were shooting the M60 machine gun. Didn't shoot nearly that many rounds.
And had that many jams in 48 minutes.
And the instructor lit his cigarette from the barrel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but you know,
it's just hot.
Yeah,
just hot.
But that was amazing. Back in 1917, that kind of reliability.
Right.
He was the king of the designers.
That's right. When we come back from the break, we're going to get to some more fun facts. We'd love to hear if you have some out there. 614-821-9886 is the number. And we're broadcasting live right here at LEPD Studios. If you're in the neighborhood, stop on by. We'll be right back after the break.
Joel Riley and Columbus's Morning News.
Monday morning, second round of Democrat debates are set. We'll explore the possibilities with a little preview. Plus that mid-engine 2020 Corvette, pretty hot. Car Notes, Monday, 610 WTVN.
Message and data rates may apply.
Help! Seriously, I'm too young for hair loss.
My hairline keeps creeping back. Receding?
I got this bald spot.
It's thinning everywhere.
I'm gonna have to give up and shave it.
Dude, put down the razor, because Bosley, America's #1 hair restoration expert, is about to give you your real hair back permanently. Don't ignore the signs of hair loss. Bosley is giving away an absolutely free information kit that reveals all the signs, and a free gift card to anyone who texts SECRET to 85850. Bosley will show you for free how great your hair could look. Using the latest technology, Bosley's solution to hair loss is permanent and protected by the Bosley Guarantee. Plus, since Bosley has new non-surgical options, you owe it to yourself to text now for an absolutely free information kit and a gift card for $250 off, no matter what level of hair loss you have. Text SECRET to 85850. That's SECRET to 85850.
Care Heating and Cooling, where we would match our competitors' prices, but it would mean raising ours. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Your ABC6 first warning weather for today: sunny and hot once again, and humid. High of 96. For tonight, a few clouds do roll in, very warm though, low of only 76. For Sunday, it's still warm. Rain moves in late in the day though, high of 92. It is currently 89 degrees on your severe weather station, News Radio 610 WTVN.
Central Ohio's news, traffic, and weather station. News Radio 610 WTVN.
It's alright.
Nice song.
Yeah, it's a good song. I picked that one.
Wait a minute. Did you trump what I had discussed with Emily earlier?
I submitted the songs like I always do.
Emily,
I wanted to be fair for both of you.
Oh, no. We'll have to have a chat here, Emily.
Just don't give her number out to John. It's going to be all
I
messed
feel
up.
so bad, so I tried to be nice.
Don't
and-
feel bad. Don't if it concerns Eric, don't feel bad. Come
Okay,
on.
so just whoever gets to me first wins,
Oh,
right?
you got that right. We'll
Okay.
in fact, I'll be calling you tonight to get something for next Saturday.
Why don't we just change this into a record show?
There you
Yeah,
go.
we could.
You know?
could do that. Some
Nice-
of our listeners may
nice song,
appreciate
though.
that.
Nice song.
That's right.
All right.
Welcome back to On Target. I'm your host, Eric. Joined today with JC from the sales team. You see him right here on the sales floor and teaching classes.
Yep.
My father,
A lot of
co-owner
classes.
Phil, you don't see him. You see him behind the scenes on the roof.
Tell him why. Tell him why. Because I do maintenance. I do construction maintenance for this store.
And I tell you what, there's a lot of it this summer.
There
you
is.
have your whole team of guys, and you have.
If I can keep him here from going on vacation, yeah.
Summertime blues.
We're talking about some fun facts in the firearms industry, all kinds of facts out there. And let's see what else we have here. Oh, how about this one? This one. Listen to this one, Dad. The Daisy Outdoor Company. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
They sold windmills.
You're right.
They sold windmills, and they gave away a complimentary BB gun with every purchase of a windmill. Seemed like a good idea until the BB guns became more popular than the windmills.
And how did they get the name? You know how they got the name?
No.
When one of the customers picked up the BB gun and says, "Man, this is a Daisy."
Really?
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
So let's go to a
Wow.
caller. It looks like Dana. You're on with On Target. How are you?
Afternoon, folks. How you doing?
Good.
Great.
I was going to ask you about open carry. You don't need a permit for open carry in Ohio, do you?
That's correct.
Correct.
You
Okay,
need,
'cause
you
I was
need discretion.
But if you want to draw attention to yourself, go right ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, but don't you see what you call plain uniform cops wearing them, and does anyone question them?
Right, you're right, and it's it's open carry has been one of those tough discussions we've had here because it is, it is definitely the right. I mean, it is our, it's right protected by the Second Amendment, and we are 100% right. We're 100% supportive of it. From a training aspect, though, I kind of cringe because you have now kind of shown your hand, in essence, to the bad guy, in my opinion. So, if you're in there and something happens and they say, okay, I see a guy open carrying, I know that one has a firearm. You may be a target, earlier than you would have been if it was a concealed. So that's just kind
and the
of
discretion. There was an actual case happened in Ohio. A guy got stopped. He was open carrying with his wife in a baby carriage.
Yeah.
And just anyone's got a cell phone now. Police have to respond to every call. He was stopped 3 times within a 2-block period of time by police officers responding to the call.
Right. Well, and the problem is in this day and age, they're going to draw attention. Now, I saw somebody fairly recent in a Home Depot.
Really?
With open carry.
Dana, have you obtained your CCW or anything?
No, I haven't. I haven't got a pistol yet, but I wanted to know about that. And what if you wanted to transport like a handgun or a rifle in the car? Do you have to have a concealed carry to do that?
No, sir. You do if you want the firearm, the handgun loaded. But if you're just transporting it to the range,
you really need to have it in it. The law basically says you need to be able to leave your vehicle to get to it. And then, of course, we have pickup trucks, we have vans, but you have to make it needs to be unloaded. The ammunition needs to be separate from the gun, and it needs to be in an area where you have to leave the vehicle. If at all possible. If it's a rifle and it's got a rack or something, you can lock it and open. Those are all in the law. All you have to do, believe it or not, it's in the concealed carry manual. You can find that online. It's the Ohio Attorney General. Look up the Ohio Attorney General CCW/manual. And it says if you don't have one, this is how you need to carry guns. If you're on a motorcycle, you got to have pouches in the back that you can lock that gun emptied and unloaded. So we tell people when they leave the store, don't put this gun in, if you don't have a CCW, don't put it in the car with you. Put it in your trunk and don't load it. So but that's all in the law.
Yeah, and so Dana, one of the things we say too, even if you aren't planning on carrying a concealed firearm, a lot of times it helps just to get the permit because then it allows it to be a little bit more easy to transport them and stuff too.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, folks. Have a good day.
All right. Thank you.
You know that there are 270 million guns in America. Now, I think that's low.
That's low now.
Oh, it's like 450. It's over 426 million.
And so that makes the next stat here wrong too, is that makes it 89 guns for every 100 people And it says 20% of gun owners own 65% of the guns. And that could still be true.
That could be true.
Yeah,
but yeah. The
right.
manufacturers, they've kept in the United States since the year 1900.
Right.
Manufacturers have reported. So they didn't include anything out there made before 1900, but they're up to it's about $1 million a month are being produced, pretty close to that. Anyway, but anyway, 425 plus.
All right, guys, I'm going to have to throw this stat out there. It's a fun fact. It's not necessarily a good stat, but it is something that, to me, every time I read it, I'm kind of like, wow, this doesn't match up to what you hear out there. So let's talk about how people die for a second, okay? Kind of morbid, but let's talk about the statistics around it. About 10,000 people die each year by firearms, not including suicides. So we're talking about, the unintentional, in a crime or however it may be, okay? About 1,700 die each year by knives. Okay, so 1,700, you kind of get in the flow now, right? About 10,000 a year die by speeding. About 10,000 a year die by OVI crashes. 70,000, and it's growing, die by drug overdoses.
Wow.
Okay, so you kind of got to see a pattern here. If we could, so then let's look at the assault rifle with that all the Democratic candidates talked about right?
This, yeah.
If we could only get those off the street, those account for, on average, 350 deaths a year.
Yeah, I read that report, and this came from the FBI, not from some pro-gun or anything. The FBI, rifles used over 10 years average 330 deaths per rifles a year over a 10-year period of time. And how many by?
Here we go. My favorite, though, hands, fists, and feet.
Yep.
715 die on average each year. More people die by hands, fists, and feet than all rifles combined.
So let's ban them.
1,700. Wow.
Yep.
Do we have time for just one quick one?
We are down to 40 seconds.
In athletics, and especially track, if you move as the gun sounds, you have been considered having a false start.
Right.
Because your brain cannot process the noise of the starting gun in under 0.10 seconds. 0.1.
0.1. Yeah,
0.1
a
second.
A tenth of a second. Okay.
Yep.
Guys, good show. Good seeing you back,
show.
JC.
It was fun.
Next
Good to be
week,
back
we're going to have
guys.
Rampart hosting on with us to talk a little bit about cyber security and get to a couple new items that came in the door this week that we didn't get to talk about. So have a great week. Stay cool. And stop by and visit us.
From the Elk and Elk Studios, if your child suffered a serious birth injury, call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. News Radio 610, WTVN.
Scammed, fed up, burned, tricked. These are some of the comments we get from
Hey, Em.
Yes.
Are you ready for commercials?
Yep, 1 second. Okay, I am ready whenever you are.
All right. Let me tell you.